News 4 Today, working for you.
Coming up on News 4 Today, breaking news overnight. One person is dead and 4 others are hurt after several rounds of gunshots break out in a Nashville neighborhood. We'll tell you the clues police are working with to determine what started the feud. And now at 6, a war hero and former presidential candidate has passed away after battling cancer. We'll tell you how many are remembering his unforgivable career. And still ahead, a man hailed as a hero in Nashville will start his own initiative to fight crime here in our city. We'll tell you how you can get involved. Good morning. Welcome to News 4 Today. I'm Liz Lohuis, filling in for Desiree, here with meteorologist Dan Thomas.
And welcome to you.
Thank you. It's a little early for me, as I told you before, but my coffee's helping out.
What's your typical Sunday go like? What time do you typically get up?
9:30.
9:30.
Have some coffee, sit in my pajamas for a while.
It's a little different.
Yeah, feels a little different, but I'm happy to be here. This is fun this morning.
Yeah, good to have you. And later on this afternoon, you can take a nap to avoid the heat. Take a nap in that AC. Get that AC cranking. It is going to be a very hot day. Not a rainy day, so don't worry about rain if you want to do some things outdoors. Summer type of activities, maybe some pool time, maybe a lake visit today, something like that. I think it's going to work out just fine. Downtown Nashville now, you see some clouds around. So we've got a few clouds. We've got a little southerly wind, and that's helped to keep temperatures up even more overnight. Right now, 75 for the current reading in Nashville. We see 70 down in Tullahoma. McMinnville has fallen to 66. It's in the high 60s in Crossville, 70 in Hohenwald, and 70 right now in Dixon. No organized areas of fog this morning. There could be some valley fog here and there, maybe some thin fog here and there, but it's just not a big problem. So if you have some driving plans, you got to head down towards, say, Chattanooga or Atlanta today, or head eastbound toward North Carolina. Things will work out just fine this morning. Typically, there's some fog in Smith County, and probably we're seeing some fog over towards, say, Gordonsville and Carthage right now there. 88 at lunchtime today, 93 for the high, a mix of clouds and sun, and high humidity too. So it's going to be humid today, but down the road I see humidity increasing even further. We'll talk about when that will happen coming up in just a few. Liz?
All right, thanks, Dan. Well, breaking news overnight. One person is dead, 4 others hurt after a shooting. It happened at the Cheatham housing area on 9th Avenue North. Police say 1 woman and 4 men were shot just before 11 o'clock last night. All victims were transferred to different hospitals. 1 man died at Vanderbilt. The crime scene was large as the victims were found in different areas of the housing complex. This morning, police are still looking into that shooting. A war hero, former presidential candidate, and the senior senator from Arizona, John McCain, died Saturday after battling brain cancer. His family announced Friday that he would stop receiving medical treatment. McCain led a life of 60 years dedicated to the public service. He graduated from the United States Naval Academy, becoming a naval fighter pilot, and served in the Vietnam War, where he was captured as a prisoner of war. McCain was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives from Arizona in 1982 and was elected to the United States Senate in 1986. President Trump tweeted his sympathies to the family as well as many others who worked with McCain in Washington. His wife Cindy wrote, "My heart is broken. He passed the way he lived, on his own terms, surrounded by people he loved, and in the place he loved best." At his ranch in Sedona, you can see a procession came down his driveway, including police cars, SUVs, and a hearse carrying the longtime senator back to Phoenix. A huge industrial fire in East Nashville Saturday afternoon caused smoke that was visible for miles. Take a look. The fire broke out at Advanced Plating on Cone Street, right by Topgolf. 5 buildings nearby had to be evacuated. The assistant fire chief said this building has, quote, a tremendous amount of chemicals in it that are toxic and hazardous. Since there are unknown chemicals inside the building, crews had to keep their distance and do what's called a controlled burn.
Basically, we're letting the product burn inside the building to keep from having the catastrophic runoff. And some of the chemicals in there would probably take copious amounts of water to even put out if it didn't react with water. Most of them would react with water, so we have problems with that also.
A business connected to the building, Advanced, was saved. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Right now, the fire is still under investigation. We now know the name of the man who died in yesterday morning's crash that we brought to you as breaking news. 29-year-old Francisco Quintana was killed when his car collided with a semi on Murfreesboro Pike. He died at the scene. The driver of the semi was not injured. The reason for the crash is still being looked into. One man is dead this morning after a bullet hit him through his screen door. This happened at the Edge Hill Apartments in Midtown. Police say 59-year-old Glenn Young was watching TV in his living room when he heard gunshots outside. He walked outside his door and then a bullet hit him in the chest. Right now, police are still looking for the suspect in this shooting. He's described as a black man in his 20s with a thin build. He was wearing dark shorts and a white shirt at the time. Today, the man who stopped a mass shooter at a Waffle House earlier this year will start a foundation to stop crime in Nashville. James Shaw Jr. will host the Come Together Day at TSU. The event will include fun and games and will have an anti-violence rally. It's all meant to bring together all walks of life.
The shootings that we've had in Nashville are through the roof. I want everybody to come together, and I want us to try to think of a resolution. As long as we can keep the story relevant, then we can do something about the story, and hopefully we can do something about, mass shootings in general.
The event will also launch the James Shaw Jr. Foundation, which will provide support and resources for victims of violence and trauma. And last night, people in the North Nashville community showed their support for a mother and her struggle to not be forgotten. Victims in the struggle hosted Vicki Hambrick Day in Hadley Park. Hambrick's son, as you remember, Daniel, was shot and killed several weeks ago by a Metro police officer.
I just want to come out and support the Hambrick family and love on them and support them and, take up donations for the family. That's it. We just want to unite as a community, as a Nashville family.
Donations collected at the event benefit Vicki Hambrick. Music City was full of concerts last night, but it wasn't just music. Nashville SC also had a big game at First Tennessee Park. Before the game began, Mayor David Briley made a plea with the fans to help the future of the team. Metro Council is holding a meeting tomorrow night at 6 o'clock to talk out some of the final details of the new MLS stadium. He encouraged fans to come to the meeting and play a part.
We're right at the very end of making some decisions about where to head as a city, and Nashville is on the mark, so we're gonna finish this out strong.
It was also Preds night at the stadium, so gold and blue were the colors of the night, along with the Preds mascot Nash cheering on the whole team. Big Joe will, of course, have those highlights of the game coming up. Tomorrow, all early voting locations will be open for the runoff for Nashville's next vice mayor. The race, of course, is between acting Vice Mayor Sherry Weiner and Metro Councilman Jim Schulman. It's the 15th election in Davidson County this year. Only one voting location is open right now. That's the Metro office building on 2nd Avenue. All other locations will be open starting Monday through Friday. Election Day is September 6th. We've got all that information on our News 4 app. If you're searching for a new family pet, today may be your day. You can visit the Nashville Humane Society, Metro Nashville Animal Care and Control, or the Williamson County Animal Center. Mars Pet Care is covering adoption fees today and will send you home with treats for your pet. Today is the last day to visit the Rolling Stones exhibit. The interactive exhibit features more than 500 instruments and memorabilia. It's open today from 1 o'clock to 6 this afternoon at the Musicians Hall of Fame. And Dan's been saying it all morning. It is going to be a hot one, so make sure to stay cool. Dan, what can you tell us about what we can expect weather-wise?
Yeah, it's going to be a hot one, Liz, and also a mainly dry one. So it's a good day to wash the car. You can enjoy it for many days to come. In fact, I don't see a good chance of rain until late this coming week. Today's high temperature 93, partly cloudy, very hot, so temperatures about 5 degrees above the average. So with a temperature of 93, you could be messy with the water. You can get wet yourself or soak whoever's helping you out. Hey, let's talk humidity too. Dew points. When we look at dew points, it just sort of gauges how it feels outdoors. Yesterday it was uncomfortable. Today it's edging up to the oppressive zone. And as we get toward Wednesday and Thursday, it will be around please stop. So temperatures, dew point temperatures late this week in the low to mid 70s. Very, very stuffy conditions in time. Outdoors live right now. This down in Franklin. We have Interstate 65 down by Moores Lane, and you can see some clouds out there. This up in Clarksville, maybe some thin fog, but visibility still very good, about 5 miles or so. 75 down Nashville, 72 in Macon County and Lafayette. It's 73 in Portland and 72 in Paris. So very mild to start this Sunday and very sticky as well. High pressure is just east of us right now. So on the backside of that, we've got a south wind again, just like yesterday. Not a strong wind, south winds 5 to 10, maybe 15 miles an hour at times. And that's just going to keep pumping in the heat and humidity. But despite the heat humidity, I don't expect much in the way of rain today. So here's Futurecast. This is probably even a little bit overdone. 4 o'clock this afternoon, maybe an isolated shower or thunder shower in a few spots. 7 o'clock tonight, that's all done. And by dawn tomorrow, we are mainly clear with very little going on. Maybe some valley fog, and that should be it. So high temperature this afternoon, upper 80s toward Cookeville and McMinnville, upper 80s down toward say Coffee County. Tullahoma checks in with 89 this afternoon. Then 92 for Lawrenceburg, 92 for Lynchburg, 93 in Nashville, and 92 in Clarksville. So really no avoiding the heat north, south, east, or west. Liz?
All right. Thanks so much, Dan. Coming up next on News 4 Today, an outfit Serena Williams says she wore for health reasons is now being banned. Plus, Tropical Storm Lane is still affecting the island of Hawaii. We'll tell you why it may take several days for residents to clean up. Plus, MoviePass is creating trouble for subscribers once again. We'll tell you the new plans they have for customers and why a lot of people are angry with their decision. And still ahead, who's hiding at a country club doing city business over drinks? Our News 4 I-Team investigation is in just 2 minutes.
For years it was your dream house, now it's your home. It's where your family feels ready to take on anything. Jump in with confidence with the SunTrust Smart Guide mortgage application. Visit onup.com or speak to the SunTrust team to help buy or remodel your home. SunTrust. Confidence starts here.
It's the final days of Nissan's Bottom Line Model Year-End event. Get big clearance savings on the last of our 2018s. The bottom line, Nissan has received more initial quality awards than any other brand. The smartest time to buy an award-winning Nissan is now.
Get 0% financing for 60 months on 13 models or save up to $96.62 on select models.
But hurry, the bottom line and our 2018s are almost gone.
My neighbor bought windows 5 years ago from another company, and she already has problems, but that company is out of business.
That won't happen when you call American Home Design. For over 40 years, we've been satisfying homeowners with top quality windows, highly skilled installation, and reliable service.
I did a lot of research, and that's why we went with American Home Design.
What's Bruiser doing?
Celebrating our Dog Days of Summer Sale with hot savings of $500 or more.
Hurry, these prices won't last much longer than that beach ball.
We all want white teeth. You know, doc, how can I get whiter, brighter teeth? And the dentist really has to say, let's take a step back and talk about protecting your enamel. It's important to look after your enamel because it's the foundation for white teeth. I believe dentists will recommend Pronamel Strong and Bright because it's twofold. It strengthens your enamel, but then also it polishes away stains for whiter teeth. So it's really something that's a win-win for both the patient and the dentist.
Real-time red, Nashville's only live radar. Time to tighten up, Nashville.
Beautiful day over Nashville this morning. You can see the sun is starting to come up, and look at that pretty pink sky. It's going to be a great Sunday. Well, thousands of internal emails show a pattern of secrecy surrounding the fairgrounds soccer development. It was all supposed to be kept from the public until News 4 I-Team's Nancy Amons got her hands on it.
The train bringing professional soccer to the fairgrounds has been speeding down the tracks. The public just didn't hear it. That's what the News 4i team discovered in these internal emails that you and I were never meant to see. A country club meeting where we can hide. A contractor warned to hold up about putting problems in writing. The first many of us heard about soccer coming to the fairgrounds, this announcement from former Mayor Megan Barry.
I fully support our efforts to bring an MLS team to Nashville.
3 weeks before that, a secret meeting at the Richland Country Club. Larry Adama's company, Commonwealth Development, was overseeing improvements at the fairgrounds. He wants to meet on a Friday afternoon with the director of the fair board. We can hide there, he says. She answers, brilliant. I showed the email to Councilman Steve Glover.
We can hide there? We can hide there. Hello, this is Metro Property. You don't hide. You are transparent in the entire process.
Here's another email that makes you wonder, what's the big secret? It concerns Fair Park, those new public soccer fields at the fairgrounds. In February 2018, Larry Adama gets this email from the contractor. The project is over budget. Here's what Adama writes to the contractor. Hold off putting anything in the official paperwork, where it might be requested under the Open Records Act.
Wow.
I showed the email to former Councilman Dwayne Dominy. He's a fairground supporter.
The fact that they're trying to hide from public records requests tells me they're doing something inappropriate, period.
So why was Adama so sensitive about putting the public's business in writing? Well, he'd just gotten this email 4 days earlier, telling him I had filed an open records request for his emails.
All right, thanks, Nancy. Well, developing now, Hawaii is not in the clear, even though the islands avoided a direct hit by now Tropical Storm Lane. Right now, the storm is in the Pacific, but the island is still on alert. The storm dropped around 4 feet of rain, flooded neighborhood roads, and damaged homes. In Maui, strong winds also caused a brush fire, cutting off power and forcing mandatory evacuations. Forecasters predict Lane's slow speed will last throughout the day, drenching parts of the state, making prime conditions for mudslides.
We dodged a bullet. Doesn't mean it's over. We're going to have rain and wind and local flooding, and we need to be vigilant.
But we still feel it's very important to have the military be postured to respond to any threats.
The tropical storm watches and warnings have been discontinued on the Big Island. This weekend marked the one-year anniversary of Hurricane Harvey. The hurricane dumped more than 27 trillion gallons of rain on Texas. The floodwaters have receded, but a recent study has found more than 40% of those living there are still trying to rebuild. Harvey swept into Texas and stayed for days, swallowing highways, cars, and homes. 30,000 water rescues were performed, and 68 people died. Serena Williams played in the French Open this weekend in a black catsuit, one the French Tennis Federation president says will not be worn again. The president said in an interview earlier in the week that the tournament will have a new dress code next year. Williams has a history of blood clots, and she says she wore the form-fitting suit to improve her circulation.
I think that obviously the Grand Slams have a right to do what they want to do, but I feel like if and when or if they know that some things are for health reasons, then there's no way that they wouldn't be okay with it. So I think it's fine.
Now all eyes will be on Williams to see what she wears next at next week's U.S. Open. Right now, changes continue for trouble-filled subscription service Movie iPass. The company says it will no longer have annual subscriptions. Customers will now have the option of switching to a monthly subscription or canceling it altogether. It's the latest change for the company, which previously allowed customers to see a movie a day in theaters. Now, monthly subscribers can only see 3 movies a month, but some are not even available for customers. And here's some good news for Walt Disney workers. The company has reached a deal with labor unions representing employees to raise starting pay. If Disney's workers approve the deal, they'll begin getting a starting wage of $15 an hour in less than 3 years. This tentative deal comes a year after negotiations. Workers will vote in early September on the agreement to raise the starting minimum wage from $10 an hour to $15 an hour.
And you know what that means?
What does that mean?
Ticket prices will go up again.
Could they go up any more?
I just looked it up. Guess what one park hopper park hopper ticket for today cost down there? So for one individual, one person.
105.
174. For a park hopper, we can go from like Magic to 174. And an individual ticket for Magic is 119 today. So.
And then you take in all of the food and drinks and the ice cream that you're buying that your kids want.
The hotel, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Save
expensive
for
weekend.
it. Put pennies in a jar and just save.